What is going on, people? Joey Suggs here. Welcome to today's video. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I got my Santa's Little Helper apron on, and we're not making presents, we're making gains in today's video. I'm gonna be sharing with you some of my favorite air fry recipes, some things that I can't cook any other way because they just don't taste as good unless you cook them in the air fryer. And I'm gonna be focusing mostly on meats in this video. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to one, press thumbs up button, but two, let me know down below what else you wanna see as far as sides, potatoes, veggies, things like that. I got plenty of air fry recipes for you. So with that being said, I got my trusty air fryer right here. I actually got one back there too. We're gonna fire up both of them, and let me show you the very first recipe I'm gonna make tonight. All right, so the first recipe we're gonna be doing is gonna be a fish recipe, a fish air fryer recipe, more specifically white fish. Even more specifically, it's gonna be mahi. Mahi, one of my favorite white fishes, and an absolutely insane diet hack if you're not already eating it. Super high protein, super low calorie. So let me show you exactly how I like to prepare it in the air fryer. All right, so first steps first, we're gonna go ahead and preheat our air fryer. This one just preheats at 400 for 5 minutes. It's not that necessary in this recipe specifically, but later on it will be important, so do remember to always preheat your air fryer. The air fryer I'm using is by Calorie, and it has been my favorite brand of air fryer, and this one specifically, the dual blaze, is the biggest, best one that I've found. So if you wanna check it out, I'll leave an Amazon link for it down below. Doesn't really help me out, but I do love this thing. But with the air fryer preheated, we can go ahead and get a plate and our mahi fillets. As you can tell, I'm gonna be making 2 tonight. You can see they're just extremely lean pieces of fish, not very fishy either. If you haven't tried mahi, definitely give it a shot. All right, now I know I'm gonna lose some people here, but I am going to put everything but the bagel sesame seasoning on here. I promise you, if you have not tried it, you will absolutely love it on fish, and actually a lot more than just bagels. So I'm gonna go ahead and just coat both sides. And here's how the finished product is looking. Very, very simple, and now you're ready to toss it in your air fryer. So we can go ahead and put the mahi in the air fryer now. I'm gonna put them to one side because we're actually gonna add something else in here in just a second. But for the air fryer setting, my air fryer has a seafood setting, which puts it at 375 for 8 minutes. I found because these mahi pieces are a little thick, 380 for 10 minutes has been absolutely perfect for me. So that's what I'm gonna set it for tonight. All right, so let's jump into recipe number 2 while that finishes cooking. This one is probably my favorite recipe, and if I could fit this in my macros, I'd have it every single day, 3 days, 3 times every day, every week. Did I just have an aneurysm? Whatever. The point of the matter is we're gonna be making some barbecue hot honey bourbon glazed salmon. Let me show you exactly how to make it perfectly in the air fryer. All right, we got our plate, and we have 2 absolutely gorgeous pieces of salmon from Costco. Do you have to be careful about the bones from Costco though? Check that out. All right, now the salmon recipe is very simple as well. We're gonna start with, you can use any kind of barbecue-ish seasoning. I'm using the Kinder's Wood Fire Garlic Blend. If you can find this stuff is so delicious. So I'm just gonna put some seasoning on both sides. All right, and once you have it seasoned, you can go ahead and add the next ingredient, which is hot honey. If you don't have hot honey, you can just use hot sauce and honey. But this really adds a good caramelization on it once that air fry starts cooking this up. And same thing here, I'm just gonna drizzle this on, and then you wanna make sure you coat it pretty well too. So you might as well just get in there with your hands. I know it's kind of gross, but I promise you it is so worth it. All right, and after a good coat, here is how your salmon should be looking. Next thing, we're gonna go ahead and toss it in the air frying basket. Like I said, I'm cooking it along with the mahi tonight. So we're gonna cook it at the exact same temperature, the 380 for 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and toss it in. The 10 minutes cannot come quick enough. All right, 10 minutes later, there's the buzzer. All right, as expected, the salmon got nice and crispy around the edges there. The mahi is cooked very, very well too. Yeah, I mean, these turned out absolutely perfect. Let's go ahead and make a little meal with them and plate them up. All right, this was just so tasty looking. I couldn't not dive in. Check this out right here. Come on. Look at how crispy on the edges that salmon got. everything but the bagel seasoning, the garlic pieces kind of like got a little crispy in there too. Just everything about this going in the air fryer makes it that much better. Here's the bite. And actually the rest of the meal was made in just a couple seconds as well. We used a bag or a box, or I guess of a container of sticky rice, minute 30 in the microwave. And then I used some frozen veggies, same thing, about a minute 30 in the microwave. And here we are. Like I said, that salmon just blows me away every single time. It absolutely melts in your mouth, but there's the crisp on the outside, the flavor, the sweet, the hot, everything plays so nicely into that. I know I'm not talking about the mahi as much, but I mean, this is probably one of the leanest meats you're probably ever gonna eat. It's just basic high protein white fish, but when you add that seasoning to it, it really does add that much more flavor and makes it that much better. It just tastes clean, it tastes like sophisticated. It tastes like I'm gonna get absolutely shredded if I eat this every single day, which I definitely would. So these are the first 2 recipes and my dinner tonight, but that's not gonna stop me from making just a couple more for you. All right, I am now extremely full from absolutely guzzling down that salmon and mahi meal. But the next recipe is gonna be like a hibachi teriyaki style steak recipe. Really, really good in the air fryer. In fact, I love making steak this way whenever I want it chunked up. Let me show you exactly how to make it. First things first, you have to preheat your air fryer for this. I preheated mine on 400 for 5 minutes. So I have my steaks. This is literally just like cubed up pieces of lean steak. And I'm not gonna do anything to it. I'm gonna put it straight in the air fryer right now. As you can tell, this air fryer is hot, it's smoking. And I'm just gonna put it in there, and I'm gonna put it on the steak setting. And this steak setting cooks it on 400 for 8 minutes. That is perfect, but I'm actually gonna take it out at 4. All right, we're at the 4-minute mark. You can tell these are cooking up very nicely and getting good and crispy. Let's put them back in the bowl for just 1 second though. Like I said, cooking up very nicely already. And to add that hibachi style to it, I'm gonna use some Jihu's sugar-free teriyaki. They also make a stir fry that works really good for this recipe as well. Drizzle a little bit on. I actually used a little too much sauce there, but I'm just going to stir this around, get a good coating on it, and then drain the rest of the sauce here. And now from here, this is completely optional, but I'm also gonna add just a couple of sesame seeds on there, really make it more authentic. Give this one more quick toss, and we can put it back in the air fryer basket and finish our cooking. Oh, there it is. They are finished. And here they are. Check that out. Look at the glaze over top of that, the crispy edges, and everything just cooked oh so nicely. That little bit of glazing, oh my gosh, you can smell it too. That little bit of glazing makes all the difference. All right, I mean, come on. Press the thumbs up button if that looks absolutely insanely orgasmic. Looks extremely hot too. Oh my gosh. Santa's little helper just creamed his pants. That is insane. I've never made it with, this is filet. I didn't want to say that at the beginning because I don't want to seem pretentious, but I bought fillets from Costco. I've never made it with fillets before. I normally use just like top steak or whatever. This is insane. All right, well, if you can afford to use a filet because this is absolutely unreal, but it is really good with like a normal top steak as well. That is amazing. All right, so I did not give her a piece of the salmon, and I swear she almost killed me. So, how is that? That disappeared. That literally disappeared, dude. Where did it go? Honestly, I would have this steak just like I had the other meal with like some rice and some veggies. Call it a night, and you have an incredible dinner for yourself. I just blew myself away right there. Excuse me, sorry, I'm a bit speechless, even though I'm still talking. Let's get into the next recipe. All right, it's now the next evening and time for the next recipe. One of my favorite meal prep recipes. You make this like once, maybe twice a week. You got plenty of meat to go around. And you can literally put this with any sides and it's always delicious. Let me show you my barbecue chicken nuggets. All right, so first things first, like all these recipes, you're gonna want to preheat your air fryer. I did mine at 400 for 5 minutes. That'll make sense when we start cooking it. All right, we have our chicken here cut up in about 1-inch-ish cubes, and that should be perfect. We're gonna go ahead and use a little bit of barbecue seasoning. This is just some sugar-free barbecue seasoning. The one we used earlier, the garlic wood fire one, worked really well for this too. And then you just wanna mix it around a little bit. I'm just gonna use my hands, toss it a couple times, and that is pretty much it. You just want a light coating, and now we can go ahead and toss it in the air fryer. All right, now as I'm tossing it in the air fryer, I'm gonna put it on my chicken setting, and that normally cooks it at 390 for 20 minutes, which in this case is just too long. I think it's made for like actual chickens or maybe big chicken breasts. So we're gonna cook it at 400, but for about 12 minutes, but we're actually gonna take it out around 3 minutes remaining. All right, 3 minutes left. Here's how we're looking. So pretty much cooked up, right? Here's where the magic happens. We're gonna take our bowl that we cleaned, make sure you clean it. We're gonna dump the chicken back in there. We are going to use two of my favorite things, no sugar added barbecue sauce and a buffalo sauce. Go ahead and just squirt some of that on there. We're gonna do the same thing with the buffalo sauce, just a little drizzle over top. We can go ahead and toss that around just a little bit. And this is going to create a really good barbecue spicy glaze over top of these. To make sure it doesn't go everywhere, I'm gonna put some tin foil in my air fryer. We can go ahead and dump the chicken back in. All right, so that's a little before. Now check out the after it cooks for another 3 minutes. Oh, check that out right there. That turned out absolutely gorgeous. All right, I wish there was a word to describe the overall satisfaction I have with how this turned out, other than absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, when you put it back in, let that stuff soak in there, it really adds so much flavor, and it lets everything, like I said, soak into the chicken. It just combines so well. A nice caramelized outside, the chicken's perfectly cooked. What more could you ask for? Such an easy recipe, such a go-to. I'm actually gonna have this tonight for dinner with some air fryer potatoes. But for that recipe, you're gonna have to subscribe and get ready for the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Leave your comment down below what was your favorite recipe and what you'd like to see next. I'm gonna leave 2 more videos over here for you to check out, and I will be seeing you in the next one.